Are you kidding me? NBA? Seriously? In a league that prides itself on drama, narratives, and the raw, visceral emotion of competition, how in the name of all that is holy did you manage to fumble the easiest layup of the year? It's a decision so baffling, so utterly devoid of logic, that it makes you wonder if the league office is even watching its own product. We're talking about the Boston Celtics, a franchise synonymous with basketball history, a team that has cultivated more genuine rivalries than most organizations have championships. And yet, the NBA, in its infinite wisdom, has decided to omit them entirely from the very event designed to celebrate these heated matchups, Rivals Week. This isn't just a missed opportunity, it's an embarrassing, self-inflicted wound that undermines the very essence of what makes sports special. Last week, the NBA released the full slate for the upcoming 2025-26 season. As mundane as that may sound in the dog days of mid-August, for us die-hard hoops fanatics, it's a lifeline. It's a fix, a tangible connection to the game we love, offering a glimpse into the 82 dates our favorite teams will be battling it out. Of course, some dates on the calendar shine brighter than others. Opening night, Christmas Day, and Martin Luther King Jr. Day are the premier showcases typically reserved for the league's top-tier teams and biggest stars. For the first time in a while, the Boston Celtics aren't prominently featured amongst them. Jayson Tatum's Achilles injury, a brutal blow that sidelined him for a significant portion of last season, coupled with the team's subsequent summer fire sale that saw key pieces depart, has left the roster looking, as the kids say, awfully mid. So, while it's certainly disappointing, it's not entirely surprising that Boston will only play on one of those marquee dates. What is surprising, however, what is truly mind-boggling and frankly an embarrassingly dumb move by the NBA is the fact that the Boston Celtics are not featured once during the league's Rivals Week in January of 2026. Let's be clear. You can dissect the current state of their roster all you want, you can debate their standing amongst the league's elite this season, but there is absolutely no defensible reason why they shouldn't be a central part of this fabricated event. Rivalries are the lifeblood of sports. They are the moments that transcend the box score, the narratives that make us lean forward, the raw emotion that makes us scream at our screens. Two franchises that simply do not care for each other, squaring off with history and animosity as the backdrop, adds an unparalleled layer of stakes to what might otherwise be just another Tuesday night game in January. The very idea of Rivals Week itself is sound. The league has experimented with it for the past few seasons, and typically the slate is a mixed bag, hit-or-miss affair. The NBA has this peculiar tendency to try and force individual player rivalries onto the slate, which in theory makes sense. But considering how tight-knit and chummy most NBA stars are off the court, it just doesn't resonate with the same intensity as the deep-seated generational grudges between franchises and their fan bases. There's just something inherently special, something undeniably captivating, about two fan bases that genuinely despise each other. When it comes to the Boston Celtics, there are more than enough cities across the NBA landscape that harbor a deep, abiding distaste for the green and white. Think about it. Boston has hoisted more championship banners than any other franchise in NBA history. When you win that much, when you consistently stand atop the mountain, you are bound to accumulate a legion of enemies along the way. Even if they didn't possess such a rich, storied history of winning, the sheer amount of success they've enjoyed in the past decade alone is more than enough to earn them plenty of haters. For many Celtics fans, the Lakers, Knicks, 76ers, and Heat can all, to put it mildly, lick the bottoms of Lucky's shoes. This isn't just fan bravado. It's a reflection of decades of intense, bitter battles that have forged rivalries as sharp and enduring as any in professional sports. And don't just take my word for it. A few years back, when NBA fans on Reddit were polled about which teams they considered their primary and secondary rivals, an overwhelming number of arrows were pointed squarely at the CS. The evidence is clear. The Celtics are a magnet for rivalry, a team that evokes strong emotions, whether you cheer for them or against them. Now, let's not get it twisted. Not every game on this season's Rivals Week slate is a complete miss. There are certainly some cool matchups with genuine juice behind them. Pacers vs. Thunder, a rematch of last year's thrilling NBA Finals, certainly has a compelling narrative. Knicks vs. 76ers, a classic Atlantic Division clash, always delivers. Rockets vs. Spurs, a Texas showdown, carries regional pride. And, of course, the intracity battles of Lakers vs. Warriors and Lakers vs. Clippers always bring the heat. These are the games that make sense, the ones that tap into existing rivalries, whether historical or recent. But then, you look at other matchups, and you just scratch your head in disbelief. I can tell you with 100% certainty that no Charlotte Hornets fan has ever gone to bed thinking about how much they despise the Cleveland Cavaliers or vice versa. The same can be said about the Thunder and Bucks, who are apparently matched up because they met in the Emirates NBA Cup final last December. Did you even make that connection? Because I sure didn't. If two teams genuinely share a rivalry, then it shouldn't feel like a convoluted math equation trying to decipher why they're matched up during Rivals Week. It should be obvious, visceral, and exciting. Rivals Week is a cool concept, an idea that could truly work wonders if the NBA would just execute it properly. Instead, it seems to get mocked year after year because Adam Silver and his cohorts insist on trying to fit square pegs into round holes. They prioritize obscure connections or individual player narratives over the deep, organic animosity that truly fuels a rivalry. Imagine if, instead of forcing these tenuous links, the league actually leaned into the drama. Perhaps the equation would get too murky if they did it this way, but saving the very first meeting between two genuine rivals until Rivals Week would be absolutely awesome. Think back to last season. The Celtics and Knicks were widely painted as the two favorites in the Eastern Conference. Imagine if fans had to wait until this dedicated event to actually see them play one another for the first time. The anticipation would have been through the roof, the atmosphere electric. Consider the March 8th Celtics vs. Lakers game last season. That was without a doubt the most juiced regular season matchup I've seen in years. The building was packed early, the crowd was deafening, and it was patently clear that players on both sides desperately wanted to win. That is the kind of energy, the kind of raw, competitive fire the league should strive for in Rivals Week instead of giving fans a Rockets versus Pistons matchup, simply because each team happens to have a Thompson twin on the roster. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't figured out how the Cavs and Hornets ended up on the slate, it's because they've each got a ball brother. This isn't rivalry, it's a glorified family reunion. The undeniable truth is this: history is what forges a great rivalry, not fabrication. That's precisely why college football, European soccer, and baseball all boast such a wide-ranging slate of rivalries that resonate deeply with their respective fan bases. These teams have been developing a profound disdain for one another for over a century in some cases. You simply cannot just match two sides up, slap a Rivals Week label on it, and call it a rivalry, Adam. You just can't. The NBA had a golden opportunity to celebrate the rich tapestry of its own history, to tap into the passionate, often irrational, hatred that makes the game so compelling. Instead, by excluding the Boston Celtics, a team that embodies rivalry more than almost any other, they have diminished the very event they created. It's a baffling oversight that leaves a sour taste, a reminder that sometimes the league office gets so caught up in manufactured narratives that it misses the genuine, organic drama unfolding right before its eyes. So, what do you think, Hoops fans? Did the NBA drop the ball by snubbing the Boston Celtics from Rivals Week? Or is their current mid-status a fair reason for their exclusion, despite their historical significance? I want to hear your hottest takes, your deepest frustrations, and your most passionate defenses of true rivalries. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll be reading every single one. And if you're as fired up about this as I am, if you believe that genuine hatred on the court is what makes this game truly special, then hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more unfiltered takes on the world of basketball. Let's keep the conversation going, because the passion of the fans is what truly makes this league great.